Last night I broke the seal on a Jim Beam decanter that looks like Elvis. I soaked the label off.
If you have ever been in an elevator or a waiting room or walking through the mall and found yourself humming to classic country or rock songs that are playing on an overhead loudspeaker, you have a great start in understanding the concept of streaming video. Audio streaming, or elevator music, is the audio equivalent of video streaming, and it's been around since the 1930s in the form of Muzak.
I pulled the head off Elvis and fed Fred up to his pelvis. Yeah, but evidence the king is gone. It's so you.
Revolutionary advances in video technology have made it possible to deliver video in much the same way. And like streaming music, the purpose of streaming video is simple: to inform, entertain, and most likely to promote a product. Like an ever-flowing river, streaming video is a technology that makes it possible for you to watch video on a computer, mobile phone, or a host of other destinations. When we think of streaming video, it is usually associated with the internet as its source. In fact, the first streaming content came in the mid-1990s with the broadcast of baseball games, rock concerts, and symphonies over the internet. Not unlike many other technologies, the growth of streaming video has either helped or hindered by the race to own the best video delivery methods. Real Networks pushed its own technology early on and delivered as much as 85% of streaming content by the year 2000. Microsoft soon followed, and they launched Windows Media Player, but it was quickly overtaken by Adobe and its Flash Player. When Apple launched the iPad without Flash, developers moved their focus from a plug-in player to a player that is native to the device. HTML5, also known as Hypertext Markup Language, is the latest delivery method, but it's only viewed as a temporary bridge that will supplant Flash. Regardless of delivery method, video streams are continually delivered to audiences on the internet, television, your local gas station, even in your dentist's chair. The technology also lets you share video on social media networks like Facebook and YouTube.
Oh my God, it's full on double rainbow all the way across the sky. Oh my God.
Now we see Hollywood's greatest attraction, the movie studios.
One of the most basic uses of streaming video is entertainment. In order to examine the nuances of streaming video, it is important to look at the origin of video itself. Up until the cable TV revolution, the movie industry was a fairly passive experience for the viewing public. Watching the latest blockbuster movie meant going to the theater or missing the movie altogether. Those were your choices. Cable TV changed that paradigm by making it possible to watch and rewatch old and new movies as well as TV shows endlessly. This is important to note because with readily available entertainment and hundreds of channels to choose from, the viewing public became more selective. And with the birth of videotape and laser discs, we suddenly not only had a choice of what we could watch, but how we could watch. Later, portable DVDs even gave us the choice to take our movies on the road. So why is that important? Because it forced the entertainment moguls into newer arenas to compete for attention. As I stated earlier, if you missed the premiere of a blockbuster movie, let's say during the TV era, like the 60s and 70s, it may have taken a year or more before getting the chance to see the made-for-TV version, complete with dozens of commercial breaks. Today, it only takes an average of 90 days for a new release to become available on DVD. In addition to its obvious entertainment uses, streaming video is quickly becoming a major player in the education world. In an article he wrote for the Streaming Media Industry Sourcebook, Paul Rismandel admits that while the education world is usually slow to jump on the bandwagon for new ways to learn, mostly due to budget constraints, the use of video streaming in schools is widespread and increasing rapidly. According to Riz Mandel, the push in schools to offer lectures on video are due to equal part of innovations in technology and the expectations of students who grew up with technology playing a central part of their lives. One of the advantages of streaming video has in education is that in general, people are better able to learn when they are presented with material that includes images, narration, and animation. At Michigan State University, administrators are even using streaming video to attract doctoral candidates to their educational technology program. The university is offering a hybrid of presentations that will include face-to-face meetings, but most of their work will be delivered online using streaming video. In my own experience, streaming video has been a life-changing technology. Without the chance to take all of my classes via the internet, it would have been financially impossible to become a full-time student. The medical world is also embracing streaming video as a means to communicate with patients. In the United Kingdom, patients of Hillview Surgery in Greenford, London, are able to view short movies that provide information on how tests are carried out, or they get advice on aftercare. After the initial launch of just a few videos at the clinic, doctors and nurses were asked by their patients for more. The staff responded by creating a plethora of videos that covered topics like earwax removal and what to do when you have chest pains. The videos are valued by patients because they are able to refer to the videos multiple times, and they make it possible for family members to watch and learn, eliminating miscommunication from a patient who is unable to remember or take notes of a doctor's visit. These types of videos also eliminate language barriers, as multiple versions are made available in a variety of languages. Many uses of streaming video are usually in the past tense, that is to say, the video is created and delivered in some fashion at a later time. However, another example of streaming video is instantaneous streaming video such as Skype, a software application owned by Microsoft. Skype is a real-time application of video streaming that makes it possible to broadcast or view events as they happen. One popular use of Skype is for family members to communicate over long distance. A fourth grade teacher in Pennsylvania put Skype to use in a similar way by setting up a virtual visit between his students and a popular author. Live streaming video also gives us opportunities to see amazing things in nature.
Finally tonight from Humboldt Bay, California, the view that's taking flight across computer screens everywhere. It's of two American bald eagles and their brand new eaglets, whose every meal and chirp are being beamed to a growing crowd of fans around the world. Mike Taibbi reports.
Monty Merrick of the Humboldt Wildlife Care Center spends a lot of time nursing injured birds back to health. This one, prodded in his daily rehab flights, survived a gunshot wound.
You can see how that wing wants to droop.
But these days, Merrick and his staff, and nearly 300,000 fans online, can't keep their eyes off the computer screen. Two nesting eagles with their two new chicks, born just this week, the first named Kyle and the second to be named by local school children.
One of the things that's nice about it is that it really demonstrates that the Endangered Species Act works.
In fact, since the passage of that act 4 decades ago, a stretch that's seen the numbers of nesting eagles rise from a low of some 400 to nearly 10,000 today, this is the first pair to homestead on the shores of Humboldt Bay. A mate-for-life couple. She's the one with the fashionable single bright feather, but mom and dad equally generous at feeding time.
As you're watching the nest, you'll see that they're bringing in all kinds of fish and also the occasional rat.
Whether you live in the city or the country, it's rare to see even a single bald eagle, but your chances of observing a nesting couple raising an eaglet or two are just about nil. Unless you're following an eagle cam. There have been others, one in Iowa, even one in New Jersey.
Whoever would have thought that years ago, when we were poisoning our fields with DDT, that these eagles could come back in such a short period of time.
But this one, from a camera atop a 100-foot-tall Douglas fir, is streaming as intimate a view of an eagle family's life as has ever been seen.
They'll be on the nest most of the summer, and then they'll still be with their parents after that because, they have a pretty steep learning curve learning to be hunters.
Right now, it's just the parents doing the hunting and the babysitting, and the chicks and their hundreds of thousands of fans can't get enough of it. Mike Taibbi, NBC News, Los Angeles.
And look at this. I can share this video anywhere that I want. I can email it, I can put it on my Facebook account, I can add it to my Twitter account, or I can embed the link into my own personal web page. I can also choose to just embed a part of the clip. While it is true that streaming video is an attractive option for schools and businesses to exchange information with their students or customers, and it is highly effective in broadcasting that information across great distances to people who realistically wouldn't be able to get to those messages in person, streaming video has its limitations. For one, the technology can be costly depending on the desired video quality. High-definition cameras can range from several $100s to several $1,000s. If lighting is needed, the cost increases even more. Content that needs to be edited will require some type of video editing software, a computer, and someone who is trained to run the equipment. The time to shoot, edit, and deliver content does not come cheaply. For businesses, streaming video can mean a loss of employee productivity and loss of bandwidth. During the NCAA basketball playoffs this year, 63 of the 64 games were streamed live on CBSSports.com. However, employers and even schools use software like WebWasher or SmartFilter to block employees and students from watching the games, many of which were broadcast during regular working hours. The reason? Concentrated viewing of such links has the ability to overwhelm networks, resulting in slowing or crashing networks. In addition, viewing unwanted content in a work setting can create other types of problems for corporate or school networks. A study by Palo Alto Networks suggests that people who have access to social media websites at work are more likely to click on links that contain video. With that in mind, hackers are using video links as bait to launch malware. Malware is, of course, where viruses come from. Known as lifejacking, clicking on a video link can possibly open scripts that may breach a company firewall. Reduced bandwidth, whether it is from overuse by employees or because that is the nature of your business, can also lead to other problems. The size of your bandwidth determines how well your video plays. Large video files that play on limited bandwidth could result in jerky playback or not playing back at all. Video streaming also eliminates physical interaction, which, according to Gorey, could reduce our empathy for one another. This is a quote by Gorey. Digital technology has fostered a radical egalitarianism that has displaced the authorities that were traditionally empowered to cultivate and guide our feelings for one another. It has made muses of us all. In turn, we have created the cacophony of the internet that conveys not a single tradition, but a flood of fragments, which can inform us of much, but can teach us little. Depending on how you look at it, a company called Suitable Technologies is either helping or hindering the empathy problem.
Anything outstanding, or can we wrap up?
Hey, Susan. I wanted to talk to you about a problem we're having with the hinge assembly.
Let's talk after. Thanks, everyone. Hey, Mark, do you have a sec?
Absolutely.
I heard there's an issue with the hinge mechanism.
I actually have 2 problem areas right here. Yeah, I should just double check with Quan in the factory. Hey Quan, how you doing? Did you see the hinge that I sent an email about?
Oh,
You beat me here.
let's go talk to engineering. Finished with work. Hey, big guy.